Hey there. So I've been working on rural electrification for about 8 years. And about every year I get to talk about it. And every talk starts the same way. It starts with a number. We say there's 1.5 billion people in the world without access to electricity. And this is a really easy number to memorize because every year it's the same. We get the benefit of rote memorization. And the thing that I don't like about this is, I was thinking about this. I looked at a statistic from the International Energy Authority, and it said the combined efforts of everybody doing rural electrification work were not matching the population growth rate of people who are living off-grid. And I thought about that, and then I thought, oh, we suck. And then I thought about it some more, and I thought, I suck. And I thought about, I've tried different tacks at doing electrification work. Everything from doing village-scale electrification to making very, very low-cost panels. And I started thinking about this scale, electrifying 300 million households, which is the scale you need to actually get 100% electrification, and thinking about what it means to make that happen. But I'm not apologizing for anything I did. What ties all this together is that I like to build. I like to make things, and I like to think about how to change the world around me. And I spent the last year living in Manila, running a lab in Manila. And when I get tired of building, when I get tired of working in a lab, I'd get on a bike and I'd ride out of the town, and I'd go for a walk. And I usually end up in some place which is unelectrified. It's not very hard in the Philippines. And I would run into people there, and I would also be interested in what they build. And I would talk to them and be like, hey, what do you make? What's this? What did you put together? Which is really nerdy, but it beats going on a date or something gross. And one thing I thought was really interesting is seeing people electrify themselves. And I started seeing this over and over again as people electrified their own homes. And that doesn't really fit into the story of, oh, well, we need these heroic, fancy engineers from fancy schools to go and build electrification systems. And they all did it the same way. They'd take a car battery, and maybe once a week, they'd haul it into the nearest grid-connected point, charge up the battery, haul it back, and plug it in their house. And they'd run their own lights or whatever they want to get, and just plug it into the battery and run it. And people would have homebrew electrification systems. And I thought about this, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. There's two things about this that I think are cool. One is people build their own grids. And this may look like an amateur, an ad hoc, or an improvised form of electrification, and it may be. But there's also something very true about it, which is people carrying batteries back and forth replaces the weakest part of a grid, which is the wires, the most expensive, the slowest, the most fragile part of a grid. And people have replaced it with a human process of transporting energy. It's like the evolution of a grid. It's like seeing a little mammal biting into the dinosaur of a grid. It's so cool. And the second part is, I build these solar systems, and a solar system has 3 parts. Okay? It has a solar panel, it has a high-capacity battery, and then it has high-efficiency appliances, LED lights, LCD TVs, whatever people want to run. And I looked at these houses, and they have 2/3 of that already there. They have batteries, they have appliances. So I started thinking about something which is really weird as far as rural electrification goes, which is why don't we just use what's there? The only thing that's not there is a way to get energy into that system. So what if we could make a little solar panel, some way to generate energy there, and supply it into the system? And so we did. And the way we went about doing this was making a panel that could analyze and identify whatever batteries people had, whatever they already had in their home, and act like a prepaid cell phone. People could top up a day's worth of energy, a day's worth of electricity. And we could deploy a little wireless power grid controlled over a cellular network. No wires, just running off of the electricity and the way people already electrify their own homes. So I only have a few more seconds. So what I want to say is, all of this, what I'm interested in is how to reach people. We've electrified our first islands in the Philippines. We're on a shakedown cruise. And if there are people in the audience, I don't even care if you work on electrification or not. I would love to talk to you. I love talking to people. But for those of you who do work on electrification work all over the world, I would love to come speak with you about being able to work together and get technologies out to people. Thank you.